Add and subtract mixed numbers. When doing math with mixed numbers, it is easiest to convert the mixed number to a fraction. And after the equation has been solved, you can convert it back. So let's go over example 1. A room has 4 2/3 horsepower motors and 5 1/4 horsepower motors. What is the total horsepower of all 9 motors? Use the expression below to solve. So when we solve, let's first convert these into mixed numbers let's go ahead and first change these to fractions. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus this 2 is 8. So the first one is 8 over 3. Next, we have 1 1/4. So we have 1 times 4, which is 4, plus 1, which is 5. So we have 5 over 4. Now, we would go ahead and add, except we notice that we have 2 different denominators. So we're going to need to get that to be the same. And so the quickest way to get to our least common denominator is to multiply the first term by 4 on top and bottom, and the second term by 3 on top and bottom, as our least common denominator is 12 between 3 and 4. So then our next thing would be is to multiply the top numbers. 8 times 4 is 32, and it's over 12, plus 5 times 3 is 15, which is over 12. Next, we go ahead and add our numerators. So 32 plus 15, 2 plus 5 is 7, 3 plus 1 is 4. So we get 47 over 12. So we can see that 47 is larger than 12, so we can convert it back to a mixed number. So we need to go ahead and take 47 divided by 12. Now 12 can go into 47 3 times, because 12 times 3 is 36, and 12 times 4 is 48. So we're just close to 4. So 12 times 3 is 36. We go ahead and subtract. 7 minus 6 is equal to 1. 4 minus 3 is 1. So we have a whole number of 3. Our remainder is 11. We're going to keep our denominator. So we have 3 and 11 over 12 as our final answer. Example 2. What is the difference between the two resistors in a series circuit? 3 2/3 ohms and 4 1/4 ohms. So for this problem, we're doing subtraction. So we're going to go ahead and take the larger number and subtract the smaller number. So our first step is to convert it into a fraction. 4 times 4, 16, plus 1 is 17. So we get 17 over 4 minus 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. So we get 11 over 3. So our least common denominator again is 12. So we're going to multiply the first term by 3 over 3 and the second term by 4 over 4. Now 17 times 3. 7 times 3 is 21. So we put the 1 below, carry the 2. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. So we get 51. So we get 51 over 12 for the first one, minus 11 times 4 is 44. And it's over 12. So now we go ahead and subtract. So we take 51 minus 44. We go ahead and borrow from the 5, make that a 4, make this 1, now 11. So 11 minus 4 is 7, 4 minus 4 is 0. So we're left with 7 over 12. And that would be the difference between the two. Now let's do another example. Solve for the following. We have 12 and 2 sevenths minus 8 and 5 sixths. So let's first convert this into a fraction. So we go ahead and go 12 times 7, which is 84. Then we go ahead and add 2. So we get 86. So we would get 86 over 7 minus, now 8 times 6 is 48 plus 5 as we add our numerator. So that's 53. So we get 53 over 6 equals, so we see that we have a 7 and a 6. So we can't go ahead and subtract yet until we get a common denominator. And so our least common denominator between the two is 42. And we can do a real quick check just to make sure, because if we did multiples of 6 is 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42. Now multiples of 7 is 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. So we can see our least common denominator between the two is 42. So we would just need to multiply the first term by 6 over 6 and the second term by 7 over 7. Now we can go ahead and multiply the top numbers together. So we get 86 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36. Put a 6 below, carry the 3. 8 times 6 is 48 plus 3 is 51. So we have 516 over 42 minus, now 53 times 7. 3 times 7 is 21. Have a 1 below, carry the 2. 5 times 7 is 35 plus 2 is 37. So we get 371 over 42. So now we can go ahead and subtract. We have 516 and then subtract 371 from it. 6 minus 1 is 5. We need to borrow. So we borrow from the 5, make this 11. 11 minus 7 is 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. So we get 145 over 42. So next we're going to convert this fraction to a mixed number. So we can see we have to go 42 goes into 145 how many times? Now 42 can't go into 1 or 14, but it can go into 145 3 times. So 42 times 3, 2 times 3 is 6, 4 times 3 is 12. So 42 times 3 is 126. We go ahead and subtract. We're going to need to borrow. So that becomes a 3. This becomes 15. 15 minus 6 is equal to 9. 3 minus 2 is 1. So we're left with our remainder and our whole number, and then our denominator we're going to keep. So we get our whole number, which is 3, our remainder of 19 over 42, and this would be our solution to this problem.